right. Welcome to the second review of the evening. Up this time is a game called Duped. So, yeah, that has nothing to do with flimflammery or hoodwinking, and everything to do with duplication.
Although the end is a little bit of a haha, but
I'm not even sure what the hell that was. I'm honestly not sure what the hell anything is. The press materials here say there is a story here. I'm like, I honestly don't know what it is.
I kind of know what it is, but it's not super clear. And
Like, it's yeah. You play as a square. I'm like, I honestly don't know if this thing has a name. Once again, I'm looking through all the press stuff, and I'm not seeing anything. Like, your avatar doesn't have a name. Like, you are a square that is trying to get out of a cold, dark cave.
Or like a series of squares, because
Yes. Because the main gimmick of the game is you can create copies of yourself with the literal flick of a button.
Yeah, you shoot them out usually. You can just pop them up on top of you, but
yeah. Though it is worth noting that is not a power you get at the beginning. You actually have to go through, I suppose, the tutorial area.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and there you learn the first puzzle mechanic, not stacking. That's where you get, a whole bunch of blocks. Like I said, I have no idea what to call these cubes. Other than, like, cubes and cube-like things. Anyway, the point is, you can take all these blocks, you stack them up, because this game has all the blocks move in tandem with each other, unless there's a block in them. You've probably seen this mechanic in other games.
Yeah.
Like, I know The Legend of Zelda's used it a few times. And
usually that's the opposite of the way you move. But yeah, they move.
Yeah.
When you press left, all of the cubes, and you can press a button to change which of the cubes that are currently active are focused on, and each stage gives you a different number of available cubes.
Right, and you don't have to really worry about losing your cubes, because if you lose one, you can just generate another.
Although between the way that you do that and the way that, like, each of the cubes are functionally identical but is a different color, I feel like they might be trying to do something fancy with but which was the real you? But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It doesn't seem to matter. Like, once again, I'm not sure if that's part of the narrative here. But anyway, and there's about 4 sections, I think.
There are, yeah.
Yeah.
And
basically, after the tutorial, you get dumped into a overworld.
Mm-hmm.
And in the overworld, you have to pick up a gem to open a door to a series of levels. At the end of a series of levels, there's a different colored gem. And then you put that gem into another door. All the doors are color-coded by which gem they use. So,
and each area has a different puzzle gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
Like, one area will be switches. Another is cloud beasts. These things. There's these.
Yeah,
things
they're actually 2 tall versions of yourself, basically, but they have a dark cloud around them, and when you hit them, they bounce you around. Really, they can knock you really far, and there are several times where you have to get knocked to make it across a gap or something. And then in between worlds, you have these weird dream sequences that Pettyfan just got into as I'm watching this. that tell the story of the block with white eyes, who I think is your original main character, but not the one you actually play as after the tutorial.
Like I said, the narrative, such as it is a very hazy, like because there's like no actual conveyance going on here, and I don't mean just like
Yeah.
text or speech, but like the blocks don't emote. They don't
Nope.
like they just got the same blank expression.
They
Mhm.
blink sometimes. That's about it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you got no idea what these things are thinking, why they're doing what they're doing, what anything is. All you know is you're a cube. You're trying to get out of a cave, apparently. Like,
Yeah, the ending is kind of weird. It's a pretty short game. Like, I actually managed to finish it, and I never have a ton of time for game reviews, but
you did this time.
Mhm.
I had a little extra time, but I still also finished the game in an hour.
Yeah, this game. Yeah, this game will take you about an hour to 2 hours to complete.
The puzzles are
Mhm.
never super complicated or hard.
No, but like nothing here is gonna tease your brain like too hard. There's a few puzzles that you have to get somewhat creative. Like there was one cloud demon beast puzzle where I did have a bit of trouble figuring out until I figured, I got to hit him from below.
Yeah, I was actually going to point that out as like the actual trickiest thing, because it's the only time you kind of really need to pull out an actual
You need to
mechanic that wasn't there before.
Right.
Mhm.
But yeah, most of these puzzles are pretty straightforward. It's less how you do it and more, accuracy in that the like. You know, and as far as graphics go, uh, the game looks clean, looks
Mhm.
fairly simplistic as you'd expect.
I mean, the terrain is all pretty simple cave stuff.
Yeah,
It looks fine, but
yeah. I think they've got a lot of uh, pre-bought assets going on here.
yeah, the end credits roll specifically calls out thanks for the use of the assets.
Right. I mean, it kind of looks it. Unfortunately, with it's not the environment; it's the cubes themselves. Honestly, they stick out in comparison to the environments, to the everything else.
Yeah.
Basically, some detailing probably would have been preferable in to match the aesthetic better, but it's not a deal breaker. Like at the very least, it's not an asset flip. Um, music, the whole game has one track. This
Cave ambiance.
yeah, this minor key piano is playing. Um, sleep warning: this game might put you to sleep with its soundtrack.
Is the soundtrack available, or is it just kind of there?
I don't know. It's
Yeah, not on the store.
Yeah, it's not there.
Because honestly, it's less a soundtrack and just.
I mean, it is a track of sound.
Yeah, it is a track of sound, and honestly, I have a hard time seeing anybody paying money for it outside of the game. Like, it's meant there to be ambient sound, relaxing and soothing, so you can flex your memory muscles.
Yeah, the dark blobs make kind of a Rory thing. Petty fan, this is that stage we were talking about.
Oh.
You have to bop the guy from below when he's over the gap.
So
you gotta essentially make him jump.
Yep.
dispose of them. Yeah, the other parties, well, no, you gotta send one of your guys. Yeah, you send. Yeah,
I did it
you
once,
actually
and
have
then I'm
to.
dumb.
Yeah, you have to
You
jump.
can just jump,
Hmm.
and then you get up on the platform that he can get next to. Then, and he
Well,
can
I
hit
guess.
you far
Yeah.
enough. Sorry.
Anyway, pricing. So the game is pretty cheap, as you'd expect. It's clocking in at $4 USD, and according to the fact sheet here, 4.59 Australian. Uh, this is this was developed by Aussies, so.
Hmm.
But
That's a reasonable price. It's
yeah, $4 may be a little much for just how short this game is. Like,
yeah, it's not excessive. It's maybe
No.
on the higher end.
yeah, but I couldn't say you're getting ripped off or anything here. But I'd say if you can get it in a sale, like for $2 or so, that'd probably be ideal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And yeah, overall, this is a pretty decent game. It's not terrible, but it's not especially compelling either.
Yeah.
The main issues I had with this game are just that its particular gimmicks are not original. It reminded me heavily of Box Boy, and I can't remember the name, but I know I've played at least one other game where it's a platformer with the gimmick that you have to use your dead bodies to accomplish things.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I think we've played it before.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I know what you're talking about, but the name escapes me. But yeah, that is another mechanic. Like, there are spikes, and you have to use cube corpses as platforms. Like, morbid.
Yeah.
And they're not
Anyway.
using them anymore.
Yeah, that is actually the literal point. Anyway, yeah. So the game isn't really doing anything special in terms of mechanics or graphics or narrative. But it's not terrible at it either, and it'll occupy an afternoon. Fragment.
Mm-hmm.
Petty fan, any additional thoughts?
Controlling the cube is kind of weird.
Yeah,
Weird?
it's not
Like,
the smoothest control.
Yeah, it's like I don't know if they're like trying to slide them or something, but like if you hold down a little bit, I guess it tries to gain momentum. But
Yeah,
once
it's
you let
not
go, it
always
tries to stop
consistent about,
immediately. Yeah.
and it's not always consistent about how big of a bump you'll get stuck on or have to roll over.
And also launching your dude is kind of hit or miss where you actually put it.
Yeah, if you're playing with a keyboard, you have to use the stick to aim and shoot the dudes, and then the
Oh yeah, I would recommend playing this with a keyboard and mouse. You can do it with a controller, but let me tell you, you want the precision of a mouse.
Yes.
really,
You
I played it with a keyboard or with a controller, and I did not have any significant problems.
I'm
I
like,
tried that at first, but yeah, it gets frustrating sometimes.
I get like, I found well, it's like just objectively speaking, you're gonna have more control with a mouse than with an analog stick. So keep that in mind. So yeah, I guess that'll about do it for Duped here. Stay tuned. Our final game of the evening, Project Rhombus, is up next.